Imagine a nightmare that lasts for months. A world of near-perpetual darkness, where the air itself feels like it's freezing and temperatures can plummet to minus 60 degrees Celsius, and that's before the wind chill. This isn't some distant frozen planet. It's the Antarctic winter, the most brutal environment on Earth. Yet, one creature doesn't just put up with this nightmare. It chooses to march right into the heart of it, not just to survive, but to bring new life into the world. This is the story of the emperor penguin, a bird that thrives in conditions that should be impossible for any warm-blooded animal. So how do they pull it off? How do they conquer a place that should be lethal? The secrets are extraordinary, hidden in their biology, their movements, and the bonds they forge against the endless, screaming cold. This is the insane biology of the ultimate survivor. Asterisk. The march into darkness. Our story starts at the beginning of winter. As the Antarctic sun vanishes below the horizon for 4 long months of darkness, most animals get out of Dodge. But the emperors march inland. For up to 120 kilometers, thousands of penguins leave the relative safety of the sea and trek across the desolate ice to their ancestral breeding grounds. This journey is their first great trial. There's no food, no shelter, just a vast, frozen emptiness. They march for one reason: to find a mate and bring a single precious egg into the world. The breeding grounds are specifically chosen for their stability, vast plains of solid sea ice, often sheltered by ice cliffs. It's the platform they'll need for the next 9 months. Here, the males perform their courtship rituals, their haunting calls echoing in the frigid air. After a short, intense courtship, the female lays her egg. This is a moment of incredible vulnerability. If the egg touches the ice for even a few seconds, it will freeze. In a delicate dance, the female transfers the egg to the top of the male's feet, and he quickly tucks it under a warm, featherless fold of skin called a brood pouch. Exhausted. Having poured all her energy into the egg, the female's job is done for now. She turns back to the sea for the long, dangerous journey to feed and regain her strength. She won't see her partner or the egg for about 2 months. The male is left behind, alone, to face the full fury of the polar winter. He won't eat for the next 4 months, a starvation marathon that will push him to his absolute limit. His only mission: keep that egg and the future of his species alive. Section 2. The science of survival. As the darkness deepens and the storms rage, the males are plunged into the heart of the nightmare. They face blizzards with winds gusting up to 200 kilometers per hour and temperatures that cause instant frostbite. So how does anything survive this? The answer is some seriously clever biological engineering. First, their insulation is second to none. An emperor penguin is covered in dense, layered, scale-like feathers that provide over 80% of their total insulation, creating a windproof and waterproof barrier. It gets even crazier. Thermal imaging has revealed that the outer surface of a penguin's feathers is actually colder than the surrounding air. This cold coat minimizes heat loss and can even help the bird gain a tiny bit of heat from the air. Beneath this is a thick layer of blubber, the vital energy reserve that fuels the male through his 4-month fast, during which he can lose nearly half his body weight. Even their body shape is a lesson in efficiency. They have proportionally small beaks, short flippers, and feathered legs, all designed to reduce the amount of skin exposed to the cold. But what about their feet? Standing on ice that's dozens of degrees below zero should be impossible. Here, nature has a brilliant solution: a countercurrent heat exchanger. The arteries carrying warm blood down to their legs are wrapped tightly around the veins carrying cold blood back up. This cools the blood going to the feet to just above freezing, around 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, so they don't freeze but lose almost no body heat. Special fats in their feet act as a natural antifreeze, completing the defense. Yet, even these incredible adaptations aren't enough. When the wind and cold become too much, the penguins resort to their most famous strategy, the huddle dot in colonies of 5,000 or more. The males pack together, shoulder to shoulder, forming a single, living shield against the storm. The effect is amazing. While penguins on the wind-blasted edge take the hit, temperatures in the center of the huddle can climb to a cozy 37.5 degrees Celsius. But this isn't a static blob. The huddle is a living, churning thing. Research shows that huddles form and break apart in pulses. Birds on the freezing perimeter are constantly shuffled toward the warm interior, ensuring no single penguin has to bear the brunt for too long. It's a perfect system of cooperative survival, where the entire colony acts as one giant self-regulating organism. They return in the chick. After 2 months in the roaring dark, a change comes. On the horizon, lines of returning females appear, their bellies full of fish and krill. They arrive just as the eggs are starting to hatch. Now, each female has to find her specific mate among thousands of identical-looking males. Guided only by his unique call that she memorized weeks ago, the reunion is tender and dramatic. The male, emaciated and exhausted, carefully passes the newly hatched chick to the female. His duty is finally over. He has lost up to 40 kilograms and survived solely on his fat reserves. Now it's his turn to make the grueling trek back to the sea to eat for the first time in 4 months. The chick, a tiny ball of gray down, is completely dependent. It sits on its mother's feet, sheltered by her brood pouch, and takes its first meal of regurgitated food. For the next few months, the parents will take turns, one foraging at sea, while the other stays to feed and protect the chick dot as the chicks grow. They can no longer fit in the brood pouch. They graduate to what is essentially a penguin daycare, called a crochet. The chicks huddle together in large groups for warmth and protection, watched over by a few adults. While most parents are out fishing frantically to satisfy their kids' growing appetites, this period is filled with danger. The chicks aren't waterproof yet, making them vulnerable to the cold and to predators like giant petrels. Their survival depends on their parents' dedication and the colony's cooperation. It's a race against time. The chicks must grow their waterproof adult feathers before the sea ice they live on begins to break up for the summer. If the ice melts too early, any chick that hasn't fledged will likely drown or freeze to death. Conclusion: from the male's death-defying fast to the incredible engineering of their feathers and the selfless cooperation of the huddle, the emperor penguin's life is a masterclass in adaptation. They have evolved not just to survive the Antarctic winter, but to master it, turning the harshest place on Earth into a cradle for new life. However, their amazing resilience is now facing its greatest test. The very sea ice that is the foundation of their existence is under threat. Recent years have seen record low sea ice in Antarctica, leading to catastrophic breeding failures where entire colonies have lost their chicks because their icy platform melted away too soon. In late 2022 and 2023, some regions saw breeding failures in a significant portion of colonies, affecting tens of thousands of chicks. Scientists are deeply concerned. In 2022, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service listed the emperor penguin as a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act. citing climate change as the primary threat. While the IUCN's official global status is still near threatened, many scientists argue this is no longer enough, with studies in 2025 urging for an upgrade to vulnerable or endangered to reflect the grave risk. Projections show that if current warming trends continue, over 90% of colonies could face quasi-extinction by the end of the century. The ultimate survivors, who conquered the most extreme conditions imaginable, are now facing a threat they cannot adapt to on their own. Their story is no longer just one of resilience, but a stark warning about the fragile balance of our planet.